So you like trucks? You like racing? You kind of want to find yourself a truck and start racing. You want to do a little bit of this. Add some spice and do a little bit of this. Alright guys, welcome back. I'm Diggin Z71. My name is Dylan and this is episode 3 of Dig In with Diggin. Today we are going to, if I get this eyelash out of my eye, we're going to talk about how you get into drag racing. This is something that somebody brought up on Instagram. I frequently post stories and questions there for you guys so that way I can get some feedback on what's, some valuable stuff that I can present to you guys. There's a lot of information that I have and I want to give it to you, but I don't want to be speaking to a blank audience. I want to be speaking interactively for something that someone can learn something from, even if it's just one of you. I want to do stuff for the few and not for the many, and that starts with education in such a way where people are actually interactive with me, because if you're interactive in one place, I'm going to respond in the other. So specifically the question on Instagram that I got is, what is the best entry-level LS and truck that I can get into racing with? And that's going to come down to one of two things. There's a pretty big decision that you have to make, and it's whether you like racing more, whether you want to step immediately into racing, whether you just want to jump right into that side of things, or whether you care more about the build. Sure, racing is great and you want to beat people along the way, but you care more about taking a truck from one place to the next and learning a lot along the way. You want to start one place and go to a next for yourself. It's a personal goal, it's a personal achievement versus just your competitive nature against other people. So let's start with the first one. If you want to step right into racing and you want to, still have a progressive build that you can start somewhere and get to another, but you're more important about getting on the track and turning on wind lights, the best place to do that is going to be with a 99 or newer Silverado, something like between a 99 to 07. That's going to be your best entry-level truck for a ton of reasons. First and foremost, they're pretty affordable. You can find a regular cab 5.3 truck pretty much on anywhere on Marketplace for a relatively good price. You can find them in all various conditions depending on your budget or how much you care about the way that the thing looks. You can find them. Second, those things are going to have, like I said, a 4.8 or a 5.3 in them. Those are known for powerhouses. I don't have to explain that to you. I have a stock one in my truck and look what I'm doing with it. Making tons of power, making tons of passes. So that's the second piece. The third piece is that there's a huge aftermarket for the trucks. You can buy whatever you want for them for as far as you want to take your build. They sell it for these 99 and newer, Silverados. But the fourth piece is that you don't have to use all of that. The trucks can be set up to work relatively well with very minimal pieces. You don't have to have a laundry list of items in order to go fast. So if you want to step in, immediately get on the ground running, like I said, and go straight to racing, you want to turn on wind lights, you want to go against people, a 99 and newer to like I said, 9907 is going to be your best place to do it. Two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it doesn't matter. It's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen the other when you get on the track and you're racing. There are, I'm not even going to say pros and cons. There are differences in approach. We've talked about that in other videos, but there are differences in approach between a two-wheel drive and a four-wheel drive. But at the end of the day, when you're an entry-level guy getting on the track, it's going to be about the same for you, and either one's going to work great. So I just suggest, if that's the route you want to take, is just to find the truck that you like the most for the best price and go after it. Just get going. There's a ton of parts available. There's a tons of knowledge available. There are tons of ways that you can make a truck very, very fast for very little money and then just absolutely grow from there. Now, second is the build side of things. So you want to build something. You're more concerned with, getting your feet wet and, changing motors and changing parts and doing this, that, and the other. How far you can challenge yourself and your abilities, or how much you can improve your abilities and learn new skills even, to taking a truck from dead ass slow into something incredibly impressive. What's the best entry-level truck to do that? I'm going to tell you it's an OBS. It's a GMT 400. There is, just tons of them out there. You can buy them, well, just like a 9907s, you can find a million of them out there for fantastic prices, all the way up to really expensive ones that are in great shape. They're out there, as many as you want. Almost for the same reasons as the other trucks is, they're cheap, they're readily available, there is a huge aftermarket for them, and there's not necessarily a huge need for them. Now the difference is that you're not starting out with an LS. That's going to be the biggest difference. And I'm not telling you that you have to have an LS to go fast. I'm just telling you that if you're entry level and you want to get your feet right into racing and building, and specifically the build side of things, an LS swap is a fantastic place to start. That's fundamentals, building right there. If you want to do anything fast, if you start with an LS swap, you're going to be miles ahead, regardless of just because it's an LS. I say that because there's tons of information available about putting an LS into a GMT 400. There are tons of parts available for putting an LS into a GMT 400. There is a wealth of knowledge out there across tons and tons of people and tons of applications that are going to help you get off the ground running when you do that sort of swap. Now, I say that that's not the best way to jump into racing because you have some pre-facing steps. You have some stuff that you have to do before you can just hit the track. If you're on the racing side of things, you can grab your 9903, do a basic cam swap, tons of info on that, throw 100, 150, a 200 shot, and be racing. Like, there are minimal steps involved with doing that. But if you want to take the time to build something, to start from a 200 horse truck that runs 13s in the 8th, I mean, I don't know, I'm exaggerating, but runs ridiculously slow in the 8th, and start chipping your way down into those single digits and even to the high 7s, clicking into the 6s, a GMT 400 and OBS Chevy is gonna be fantastic for that. There's so many of us, like myself, there's other guys out there that know the ins and outs of these things like the back of our hand, who will be glad to help you get your feet wet in the build and then subsequently the race side of things. So that's going to be it. This is a pretty short and sweet video. There's really not much icing here. You know, it's basically just how do I feel about an entry-level truck, and that's it. If you want to get into racing, immediately 9907, that's your move. If you want to build something and then keep carrying on that build, if you want to develop some ground level like mechanic skills, an LS swap into a GMT 400 is by far, you know, a great place to start. There's a million other cars that you could get out there and start with, but this question I had specifically was with trucks, and that's, you know, I'm a truck guy, is what I do, and I like a truck guy, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, I'm gonna wrap this up. This is, you know, I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but if you want my opinion on the best way to start racing, jump into 9907. If you want the best place to start building something, get you an LS, OBS, GMT 400. But in any case, start small. Don't get yourself over budget. No matter what truck or which path that you decide to choose, you know, aim small, miss small, have reasonable goals, do small, like lots and lots of small steps is far more impressive and beneficial than big gigantic leaps. There are certain things that you need to do in order to get out on the track and get racing, but that starts with doing something small every day. You know, is the ceiling for racing is endless. You can go as fast as you want to go, but you have to start somewhere, and that's the important part. So whether you pick a truck that you can dive right into racing with, or whether you pick one that you have to build first, it doesn't matter. Just do it according to you, what makes you happy, your budget, your skills, your time, what you're willing to learn and invest in, and I'm telling you, you'll be happier on the other side because of it. And no matter what, keep digging, because I'm Diggin Z71. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.